Hello, and thanks for using TickBoom. A student has sent through this question 7, which reads, the function t equals 15 cos pi t on 6 plus 20 models the average monthly temperatures in Nelson Springs starting in January. Now, there's two parts, part A and part B, but the student has only asked for help with part B, which says solve 15 cos pi t on 6 plus 20 equals 35, and explain the meaning of the solutions. So I think the neatest way to try and think about this, which is very common when you're dealing with the cos and sine functions, is to draw them up in a chart. Before we get to the chart though, let's just do a little bit of rearranging in terms of what we're dealing with. So we've been asked to solve 15 cos pi on 6t plus 20 equals 35. So that's what we're being asked to solve. So if I do a little bit of rearranging, we can subtract the 20. So we'll get 15 cos pi t on 6 is equal to 15. And then you can divide each side by 15 so that you'll end up with cos pi t on 6 is equal to 1. So really, if we can think about this cos curve and look at the points where it intersects with 1, then we'll be able to answer this question. So what I'll do, I'll just draw up a chart. So we'll go and given we're dealing with months, t is effectively months here. I'll draw it up so we've got at least 12 months. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'll just extend that a little further. So we'll call the horizontal axis t. I'll just call the vertical axis y. We've got 0 here. We'll call this 1 and this -1. And so we've got, effectively, we're told that time starts in January. So at point 0, what we're dealing with here is effectively January. And then we've got February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And then once we hit our 12th month, we're back at January again. So what we've got here by going from 0 all the way up to 12 is we kind of see a full cycle from January to January. Now in terms of drawing up this cos pi t on 6 curve, really you can just think about some of the key points, particularly when will we hit the axis. So when will we intercept with this t, this horizontal axis? When will we hit 1 and -1? And once you've got those key points, because hopefully you know the shape of the cos curve in general, it's easy enough to draw. So looking at pi times t on 6, in general the cos curve will intercept when we have pi on 2. It'll intercept this horizontal axis when we get pi on 2, which would require, in this case, t to be 3, because we get pi times 3 on 6. The 3 on 6 would become 1 on 2. So we know we're going to have an intercept here at t is equal to 3. In terms of when would this curve hit -1, it would do that at cos of pi, which basically means t needs to be 6, so that we can get 6 divided by 6 is 1, and we end up with cos pi. So at t is equal to 6, we're going to have our point down here at -1. Then when we get at t is equal to 9, we'll get 9 on 6, which is effectively 3 pi on 2, which is when we'll get our next intercept. And then back when we get to 2 pi, or t is equal to 12, 12 divided by 6 is 2, that's when we're going to get back up to 1. And naturally, cos of 0, we know the cos curve starts at 1. So I think those are the key points that we need to plot to then be able to draw up our curve. And I'll do my best. I mean, it won't be perfect, but it doesn't really need to be completely perfect as long as it's kind of got the right shape. So I think that's our curve, and naturally it keeps repeating that pattern. But I think seeing just the one full cycle gives us everything we need to draw our conclusions. So we're interested most in when this curve intercepts with 1. Because it's at these points where we have our intercepts with 1 that our original equation is solved, because whilst we've done this rearranging, we're really concerned about this original equation, but they're effectively the same thing. So what we can do now, having drawn up this chart, is conclude that cos pi t on 6 will equal 1 when t is equal to, first of all, 0, and then 12, and then basically multiples of 12, so 24, 36, 48, and so on. And because that's true, we can therefore conclude, for completeness, that 15 cos pi t on 6 plus 20 will equal 35 at those same points. T equals 0, 12, 24, 36, 48, and so on. And we're told in the question to explain what this means. It basically means every January. Because we're starting at January. By the time we get to 12, we're back at January, and that's going to be true for every multiple of 12. So I think that's what the question's trying to get us to get to. We draw up our cos curve, we understand what the various points of time t mean, and we get to our conclusion. So hopefully you found that helpful, and tick boom.